You know how everyone always says aim for the sky, and even if you miss, you'll be among the stars? Well, one Japanese company heard the same thing and wanted to make it a reality, except they're not interested in the stars, but in the moon. There are a lot of movies about the moon, but we barely know anything about it. In this video, we're going to discuss the Japanese company's moon-related plans and more. First up, why does the Japanese company want to go to the moon? A Tokyo-based company, Ispace, will make history with the inauguration of its Lunar program, which only has two jobs: to land the first commercial lunar lander this November 22nd, and not just that, but to deliver government and privately owned payloads to the moon. The moon. The Japanese company shared in a recent statement that its aim is to become a gateway for the private sector to bring their business to the moon. We know that the moon's a pretty sensitive topic, because some people think the moon landing was fake and whatnot. But are we seriously thinking of commercializing the moon and turning it into a sort of storage unit?
This is sort of going to be seen as a renaissance in the future.
Up next, here's everything you should know about the Lunar project. Ispace's Lunar project consists of the Mission 1 lander, or M1 for short, which is supposed to launch its lunar exploration program, HAKUTO-R. M1's job will be to provide a delivery service to the moon, but it won't be heavy on the pocket, don't worry. It'll also act as a stationary probe for exploring the moon's surface. Do you think if someone sold the dirt on the moon for a couple of $1 million, or rather more, they'd become instantly ready for retirement? If anyone's naive enough to fall for such a bid, then we might just participate in Ispace's mission ourselves.
It's a big mystery. Very, very little information.
Okay, so coming back to it, Ispace's first mission is not going to be a walk in the park because, let's face it, no private companies successfully landed on the moon so far. And when they do try, the lunar landers always end up in a sticky situation that's one call away from being deemed a disaster. For example, in 2019, Israel sent their lunar lander, Bereshit, to the moon, making them the first private company to do so. But don't pop the champagne just yet, because thanks to computer glitches and communication issues, to name a few problems, the Bereshit didn't just land on the moon's surface, it crashed onto it.
Well, we didn't make it, but we definitely tried.
Yikes, 2 out of 10 because of the poor landing skills. Better luck next time, Israel. Coming up, what happens after the mission? If Ispace succeeds in its mission, then the next step in the plan is to make progress with the rest of its lunar exploration program. In fact, the company's already prepping for a second mission, or M2, and has even charted out plans of sending a lunar rover to the moon in 2 years' time. Wow, they work fast. The future missions will be aimed at increasing the number of landers and rovers that'll be sent to the moon for transporting customer payloads. Now, you might be thinking, how are they even going to pull this off? Well, according to the company's website, their landers are going to send a bunch of rovers to the moon with the goal of discovering lunar resources and gradually building the lunar industry as a result. And of course, human presence will increase, no doubt as well. Let's just hope the moon's free of any littering, or else we'll have yet another problem on our hands. The start of Japan's private lunar exploration program will signify the beginning of a new chapter for the future of the moon. A future that will have a lot of humans and robots present in it, by the way. Just imagine it, the moon and its lunar goodness acting as what can only be called a glorified human docking area or gas station that'll take us to unexplored regions of space. Humanity's ready for this trip and is extremely excited about the next step. What's more, here's how people reacted to the news. This news has been equal parts exciting and equal parts concerning because the future's involved. Like, it's a classic make it or break it situation, and we don't want to mess up the future. Just look at Greta Thunberg. All she cares about is the future.
My message is that we'll be watching you.
The future won't be compromised, not on her watch at least. One person commented, "Yeah, let's overpollute the moon, Mars, and everything else we can." He added that we don't ever consider addressing larger issues at hand like overpopulation, war, disease, or poverty when compared to finding different rocks or lack of air on the moon. They're not important, and it seems they aren't included in the important address immediately list after all. Another person asked why the Earth's resources are always utilized in the future and never now. Yet another one tweeted that they're certain of the fact that mining corporations are lining up to go and strip the moon. But don't worry, everyone didn't deem the mission a waste. One person replied to the news of Ispace's tweet with a gif of dancing astronauts, while others made light of the situation and mentioned a space alliance that could be made by 2099 if Ispace is successful in both missions. This would put us one step in the right direction, yes? But we also agree that proper precautions and guidelines must be made before the mission so that there's no spillover effect created for the next generation in the likelihood of the mission being a success. Moving on, Is Ispace going to become space's FedEx? The startup's got big plans. They want to build human settlements on the moon by 2040, but regarding short-term goals, they want to become the lunar version of FedEx. Yes, FedEx. Ispace plans to earn money by transporting scientific equipment and commercial goods to the moon. We can't keep the scientists hungry now, can we? The mission must go well because then they'll have a better shot at securing the bag. And if you know anything about startup work, it's that funding's basically the backbone of a project. Plus, it's not like the company's idea is useless. Actually, in the words of the founder, Takeshi Hakamada, a vast market already exists for these kinds of services. However, the founder and chief executive officer of Ispace also added that even if anything goes wrong, they can learn from their mistakes, which means that they can use the feedback and then improve the quality of the next launch. Making mistakes in the name of science is cool, kids. Up next, is the team getting help from Elon Musk? Something like that, yes. Elon Musk and Ispace have similar dreams. They both want to utilize the space around them. The only difference is, Musk has his eyes set on Mars, while the Japanese startup company has put its hopes toward the moon. Musk's SpaceX has made the Falcon 9 rocket, which will be set for launch soon.
That's a quarter section of the Falcon 9 17-foot diameter fairing.
This is also part of a deal between Ispace and NASA, which outlines end-to-end delivery service to the far side of the moon as part of the US Artemis program. According to a senior analyst at Quality Analysts, Ispace's lunar lander will be considered a huge milestone in the space industry. Not just that, but the company's success will reflect whether Japan's own space program has what it takes to achieve success once the moon becomes the focus of geopolitical interest again. The moon's a hot topic, and several countries are quickly pouring their resources into lunar-related research. For example, China and Russia have announced plans for a joint lunar base, while only last year, Japan's Lunar Industry Vision Council stressed the importance of the state and private sectors working together so that Japan's the top dog in the space exploration dog race. Japan's not a quitter and certainly won't accept defeat easily. Lastly, here are all the ways this mission can go south. So, the senior analyst at Quality Analytics, Henry, said that it'll be difficult to 100% predict whether Ispace's launch will be successful.
Fortune 500 or large company is getting into space.
The math can add up, but then again, math's deceptive. Who knows what happens up in the atmosphere? The team should be prepared for anything and everything, right? Junpei Nozaki, Ispace's chief financial officer, has even discussed the risks and ensured that the performance of the lander will be noted and recorded at every step. But the question is, will that be enough? After all, it can end up as a pretty unpredictable mission as well. Takeshi Hakamada, the founder of Ispace, considers the owner of Twitter, aka SpaceX, Musk, as the blueprint of success, because even if his projects have a brush with failure, he immediately bounces back up and continues with the grind. But then again, that's Elon Musk. The man is known for his love for risks and ambitious ideas that he somehow manages to turn into reality. Having said that, we're rooting for Ispace's success, one tweet at a time. Duh. That's a wrap for this video. Do you have high hopes for this moon mission? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.